Hey everyone, it's the Guru. I wanted to talk about some underrated decks in the format right now. A lot of people are playing, the big name decks, and a lot of people are experimenting with older decks. And one deck I really wanted to talk about that seems to be flying under the radar right now is Gravekeepers. Gravekeepers are a monumentally good deck right now. Now there's several reasons for this. First of all, people are like, well, Royal Tribute got limited to one. Okay, we all know Royal Tribute was a sack card. You just basically open up Necker Valley, activate Royal Tribute, you won the game. It doesn't help to have more Royal Tribute. I mean, yes, I guess you could sack harder, but one Royal Tribute is not the end of the world for that deck. The fact that their field card practically kills almost 80% of decks these days is just amazing. Like, their field card prevents cards from moving out of the graveyard other than their own effect, and the field card prevents cards from being banished from the graveyard. That kills a ton of decks right now. It kills archfiends. It kills, it kills a lot of effects in mermails. It kills dragon plants. Yes, they can still go off a little bit, but when you have Necker Valley on the field and you have Malefic Stardust out, unless they've got a field card to replace yours right away, that field card just messes them up completely. Like, it's a really, really good field card. I mean, I play Heroes, and it even messes me up, because I can't Hero Blast, I can't Miracle Fusion, I mean, I can't access my graveyard. I'm just like, what kind of bullcrap is this? Like, this is crazy. And a lot of people are underestimating, because they're like, well, Gravekeepers are really slow, and they just probably don't even have what it takes, but that's actually good. Like, this format is much better for slow decks, because it's a much slower format. And Gravekeepers have lots of things going for them. Like I said, the first thing is the field card. The field card's effect is amazing. The second thing they have going for them is Key Beetle. They can make Key Beetle without even trying. Like, Key Beetle is nothing for them. They can make that thing instantly with a Spy. They just set Spy. You run into it. They get anything. They just go into Key Beetle. And it's really, really good. They still can run, one EEV, and they can run DDV like it's not even a question. They can main deck 3 DDV and not care. That's the simple fact of it. They can main deck Vanity's Emptiness. They can main deck all those cards. They can main deck Gozen Match. Like, I've actually seen Gravekeeper players just maining Gozen Match, just to screw over other decks because it does nothing to them, which is an amazing idea, and nobody thought of it. I mean, like, you summon Key Beetle, you target, like, either you have Safe Zone and you Safe Zone the Key Beetle, or you summon Key Beetle and target Necker Valley. Like, either way, Key Beetle is really easy to make in the deck, and it makes the deck really, really good, and nobody seems to realize this. So those are the first two reasons it's flown on the radar. First, the field card. Second of all, it can make Key Beetle easily, and Key Beetle is really good in the deck. The third reason that I think Gravekeepers could be really, really good right now is because it's a solid deck. I mean, like, pretty much, sometimes with decks you draw into cards that you can't use. With Gravekeepers, they pretty much work on their own. I mean, Guard doesn't need anything, you just set him. Spy doesn't need anything, you just set it. Descendant, you don't need anything, you just set it. Like, anyway it's killed, so you could just, like, Torrential on their summon, you still get your Descendant's effect. There's so many combos you can do with the deck that are so good. Like, the combos of the deck are just crazy, in my opinion. So I think the Gravekeepers are extremely underestimated. Another one that's underestimated a lot of the time is Dark World. Dark World, for the same reason, they're really, really quick, and they can control the graveyard amazingly with Dark Smog. The ability to pitch monsters from your hand to banish your opponent's cards from the graveyard, and then on top of that, get effects off the monsters you pitched. Like, it's just really, really good. A lot of Dark World players actually don't realize how good Dark Smog is in this meta. They just don't realize it yet. I have one of my teammates who's playing Dark World right now, and I want to get a deck profile of his Dark World deck in the next tournament I go to with him. But he mains 2 Dark Smog right now, and he wins games from it. I mean, he just wins games. Like, it's just a crazy card. I mean, like, he loves versing Dragon Rulers, because Dragon Rulers will be like, okay, I'll pitch this card to the graveyard after its effect, and then in the end phase you can just Dark Smog that monster. They don't get to search, because they already used the effect once per turn. And you can just neg them advantage every turn. They summon Debris Dragon, okay, chain Dark Smog, banish your target. Debris Dragon is useless. And as long as you keep negging their graveyard, like, all you do is pitch Silva or, like, Gold, and you can just keep returning them for Graphas. And you can just keep negging them over and over and over to the point where they have no more resources, and you just win from playing resources. Like, you just win the game. Not to mention, Dark Worlds can make a 4500 beat stick called Zombie Stein. Like, Zombie Stein right now is super good. I mean, it's a 4,500 attack monster that can negate anything. Literally anything. A normal spell card, normal trap card, anything you don't like, put that motherfucker in defense mode and negate that shit. Like, you just stop it instantly. And then when you safe zone him, it just gets derpy as hell. Like, that's another thing. They can do the Key Beetle safe zone thing as easily as every other deck. I mean, Beige is stupid for that. Like, I've literally seen my friend play Key Beetle and Zombie Stein in one turn, and then just, you know, Key Beetle on safe zone for the first turn, and second turn Key Beetle on, you know, Zombie Stein, and you literally just, boom, there you go, it's done. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, like I said, I mean, like, and another thing is, like, Zombie Stein. I want to talk about that card for a second, for Dark Worlds. Like, most decks can't make this monster. The only deck right now that can, I would say, consistently make it, other than the Blue Eyes version that runs the Tri-Horn Dragon, it can make it, but it's not, it's okay. But, like, with Dark Worlds, it's crazy, because they can make it, like, every single turn. It's so easy for them to make it. And I actually laughed that they made Zombie Stein a 4,500 attack monster. I mean, that's huge. Even in the terms of Exceed monsters, that is giant. I mean, I've seen Zombie Stein run over Obelisk. Like, normally when you put it on Obelisk, you know, that's it. There's no way of getting rid of that monster. But Zombie Stein is just a beast. You know, he just comes out, he's just like, bitch, this is my field. So, I mean, like I said, I think that those two decks right now are extremely underrated because they have really good plays. And they can run really, really good cards. I mean, they can main deck goes in matches, they can main deck DDVs, EEVs, all kinds of stuff like that, and they can do all this stuff with ease. But people just underestimate them because, like, well, aren't they a slower deck? Which Dark Worlds aren't. Dark Worlds are not a slower deck anymore. Like, I'm going to say that right now. Dark Worlds are crazy. I mean, that deck has become to the point where it's almost stupid crazy. I mean, that deck can pump out monsters super, super fast. So, like I said, Dark Worlds are not a slow deck by any means. And they're very competitive in this format. And so are Gravekeepers. And once people start realizing this, I think it'll be a lot better for people. And the reason I made this video is I want people to think out of the box. Like, don't just net deck something and be like, I'm just going to play dragons, or I'm just going to play mermaids or something. Like, think creatively. Like, you know, I guess you could say don't be a coward. Like, step out of your comfort zone and try different decks. I think the one reason we always have shitty formats is players are just lazy. They're just plain out lazy. They pick something that they know works that they don't have to do any work with. They buy the deck, they build it, and they play it. What good is that? I mean, you're not learning anything. You're not becoming a better player. You're becoming a worse player, actually, because while other people are trying to learn new things, you're just sticking with the old things. That's why those kind of players will never be, you know, they'll never be a Billy Brake, you know, and, you know, I respect Billy Brake highly because he took some things that people are like, oh, don't play that, and he's like, dude, I've play tested this shit. I know how good it is. I'm playing it. Just like his Psychic deck with a Ground Soil and or Grand Soil. And everyone before the event was telling him, I don't know, dude, I wouldn't play that. I would just, I would go play something safe. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. So like I said, I mean, be okay to step out of your comfort zone. Like, it's okay to do that. And that's how you can, that's how you can get ahead in the competition. So this is the Gadget Guru, and I'll catch y'all later.